Assalamu alaikum. This is Chaplain Marco over at the Halberstadt Stav Church, which I've pretty much haunted ever since I came here. It's about 2 blocks from my house. Anyway, obviously I'm in a great deal of danger in Fargo to the point where I have a vicious guard dog protecting me. Oh, this is Buddy, and I believe he's an Australian Shepherd, and he belongs to my neighbor. He reminds me of some people back in Pennsylvania that I miss very dearly. Anyway, so out here in Fargo, I feel a little bit more safe talking about what I do as a hobby and what I've done for 15 years. I'm a cult buster. If you see me in a organization, I am either looking for a honeypot or I'm researching a cult. I'm sorry, guys. I am actually a Muslim. I am a Khorassani Sufi, have been for about 17 years, which is not a cult, because I can assure you that nobody can stand my peer other than myself and his mother, and that is probably documented somewhere. I love him very much. Anyway, so I want to go through the characteristics of a cult and what we're looking for. Now, there's a huge difference between a cult and a honeypot. A honeypot is usually an organization manned by federal agents or international agents is seeking to remedy or contain dangerous political or social elements. A cult takes in innocent people and isolates them and forces them into strict structure in order to appease a charismatic leader through money, attention, or any other narcissistic means. Honeypot is usually for a highest benefit. A cult, however, benefits nobody, even the leaders themselves. So anyway, we're going to go through, unfortunately, Facebook or video or whatever. I'm new to all this video stuff. I'm old as heck. I'm 42 years old, guys, so you got to be compassionate towards me. They do not allow me to read directly from the site as I am filming, so I had to write everything down in my handy dandy chaplain book here. So, characteristics of a cult, and I'm going to go through those one by one and some of my personal experiences that I have had interacting with cults in the past. So, without further ado, we're going to get into my little chaplain book here, and let's see if we can help some people get out today, okay? Alright, so, Assalamu alaikum, let's go. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, characteristics of a cult. There are 5 major characteristics of a cult. First characteristic of a cult is a charismatic leader. A cult is often led by a powerful and charismatic leader who has total control over the group. Cult leaders are often described as pathologically narcissistic, and that is entirely un-Islamic. Dude, no. Nobody goes before Allah. We do not put people before Allah. Nobody needs the approval of any pope or any leader or anybody to say whether or not you can approach God. That's just No. We're not doing that. That's not what Sufis do. We sit in circles and we sing love praises to, Creator above. We do, maulids. Not this nonsense, oh, God isn't going to love you unless you do 50 jumping jacks a day and you do it correctly by my standards. No, you're not God. You don't get to say what God loves and does not love, because you do not know, and each person has their own individual pathway to God. Secondly, isolation. Cults isolate members from society and punish them for leaving. There is often no local community outreach and by fake organizations funded by overseas powers to further isolate and disenfranchise their captives. Yeah, if you are a part of a religious or seemingly religious organization and there's no local community outreach, that's a cult. Because any nonprofit organization does have a commitment to actually serve the community in which they are in. And that's not just the community of people that agree with them, but the community at large. If they will not help the poor, the homeless, the indigent, it's not a real organization, guys. That's a cult. However, honeypots, on the other hand, are magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Find yourself a little den of federal agents, and you are going to get the best health care of your life. You're going to get diet plans. You're going to get amazing things. Anyway, okay. Unquestioning loyalty. Cults seek excessive and immediate loyalty from members. In fact, a cult member in Islam actually asked for my bayat within 5 minutes of meeting me, knowing that I was already established with another peer. See, in Tasawwuf, that is a complete sin. You only get one peer, and if they are valid and they bring you closer to Allah, it is actually an insult to the peer and the entire lineage to ask for bayat from somebody you just met. That is cult-like behavior, guys, and that actually requires severe and express tawbah, repentance for even trying that shit. That's really, really haram. Good job. So, unquestioning loyalty. I've definitely seen that in most of the cults that I've seen. Honeypots do not have unquestioning loyalty. In fact, they encourage you to ask questions because they want the information from you. They want the intel. So, anyway, number 4, that brings me to authoritarianism. Cults are characterized by absolute authoritarianism without accountability. I know a Muslim cult where the women are so silenced they can only clap if they feel the cult leader is in error. Could you imagine? Applause. Like, oh, the cult leader says something bad, and all he hears in the background is a bunch of women clapping, and it just serves his ego even further. What a fucking dickwad. So anyway, you also see this in the subjugation of certain voices over others. Like, especially in Islamic cults, you'll find that women are completely silenced in exchange for the men to have all the say, and for the human traffickers to be able to dictate where women go and what they do with their lives. It's a really bad scene and completely against American law. So we're going to get into number 5. No tolerance for criticism. Cults do not tolerate questions or critical inquiry. In my 15 years of civilian infiltration and cult busting, I've been hilariously slandered from all sides in the most ridiculous ways. I've had people claim that my blood brother's living in my head. I've had people claim that I'm schizophrenic. But all it is just a bunch of, sad little boys who don't get to traffic their women anymore or subjugate people for their own narcissistic or financial means. I feel so sad for them. Tear. Where non-cults and true religious leaders dialogue, cults proselytize defensively and control the narrative. An attempt to silence the opposition through paternalistic actions of gaslighting and attack on reputation. Real people and causes never need to create fictional justifications for their own wrongdoing and shirk. Shirk being polytheism, as in taking a religious leader as God over, actual God himself. I don't care what religion you believe in, as long as you believe in God. Each human voice is precious to God. If only one mouth or set of mouths speaks out of hundreds, then the rest of the hundreds have been unlawfully silenced. And take that into consideration. If your voice is not as valuable as other people in your organization, then get out of your organization. You should be heard. Your life story is important and valuable. And you are not less valuable than somebody else because you lack a penis or because you lack some sort of religious accolades that other people give upon you instead of God himself. Other characteristics of cults include an apocalyptic vision, where people are urged to be wary of outsiders because it's going to bring on the apocalypse, or the apocalypse is happening outside, or that sort of thing. Life is what you make of it. Look at this. It's peaceful out here. Do you see bombs? No. You see a beautiful church. You see a cute little puppy somewhere here. There he is. Does this look like the apocalypse to you? Or does it seem like you're in an apocalyptic cult? Emphasis on transcendent spiritual experience. Guys, if you got to disassociate to be a part of your organization, it's not a good organization. 3, rigid rules. If your cult is run by somebody with OCD who says that you cannot find God except by doing his exact motions, you're in a cult, sweetheart. You're not in a good place. 4, illegal or dangerous behaviors. I've seen Islamic cults with human trafficking or raping women so much that they have heat stroke in the middle of class, where people are silenced and only certain people are allowed to speak in the open. That's not how Islam is. Not all of it. Only the Salafi and the radical extremists are like that. See, there's other perfectly good Muslims out there. For instance, I'm Shia, and yeah, we might be silenced in Iran, but there are quite a few beautiful Shia cleric females that have existed throughout all of time, especially Sufis like Rabia Basri, and you have the companions of the Prophet, you have Khadijah, and you also have Kala, who is my favorite. She's the one who they attempted to rape her, and she killed, I think it was 3 men with a tent pole. So we have some real badass women in our religion, and it's a shame that those stories are not being told in favor of women being seen as livestock to be trafficked. Guys, not cool. Did you think you'd never be called out by another Muslim on this? You're in America now. Women have rights. It's a really bad scene to not take care of women, and to be a church that doesn't take care of the poor. Shame. Absolute shame. Words mean nothing. Let's see. A pattern of ritualistic behavior. Does your cult seem to promote OCD? God does not need you to be mentally ill for you to follow him. He listens to you every single second of the day. He's closer to you than your jugular vein. You don't have to pray in a certain way for God to accept your prayers. Honestly, the best prayers have been crying in the shower butt-ass naked. At least in my experience. Saying, oh God, why? And then usually within a day or two I figure out, oh yeah, it's usually because of something I did myself. As per the Quran. And lastly, secret or special knowledge that is only revealed to initiates. Okay, so again, I'm a Khorassani Sufi. We teach everybody. We teach people in classes and universities that are really shitty. We teach people on the street. You want to learn about Sufism? We'll talk your ear off about Sufism. We'll tell you all the secrets that we learned from all the other Sufi orders. We don't care. We don't. But if you were told that you can only get hidden knowledge of God by being an inner member of a cult, then they don't have knowledge of God. They're just narcissists, and they're just enslaving you. Anyway, the dog wants to go home, and everybody's getting on my case about being here. Not really. That's just a perception, and that's a false perception. So, with that being said, I wish you well. Assalamu alaikum. I love you all very much. Well, some of you, but you know who you are. And hopefully see you in Fargo. If you want to leave your cult, you know, you can get amnesty here, and you can come here and report on it, and I'll be right there with you. Anyway, may Allah light your pathway always and keep you on the middle way. Take care.